Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Superior Angling. I'm your host, Grant Sorensen. On this week's show, we are heading way out west to chase lake trout on Fort Peck. We are absolutely jacked. It's a long road trip, however, so before we get on the road, we're bringing our GMC in here to Ottawa's Express Lube right here in Kenwood to make sure she's ready for the drive.
Pete from Ottawa's. Oil changes are done on your convenience, no appointment needed. Just pull up to a door, we'll get you in. We'll check your tires, fill all your fluids top and bottom, and get the oil change done for you in a timely manner and get you on the road.
All right, the GMC is ready to go. Stick with us. This is going to be a good one. Got him. That's a big fish. Look at that.
Season 5 of Superior Angling TV is brought to you by Holden Insurance Agency and the rest of our fabulous sponsors.
We have made it. Fort Peck, Montana. Here we are. Not a bad drive, 10 hours from Duluth. Usually we can drive 3 hours and get into Ontario and chase lake trout, but with the border being closed, this is our next best option. And I'm super excited to be here. I've always wanted to come out here, but I've never really had a true reason to drive this far, but now we do. So I'm excited that we took the opportunity to get out here and see what Montana is all about. So, we're not Fort Peck experts. I've never fished here before in my life, and neither has Busker or Alex or Josh. Like, this is all new to us. But what we do have is extensive lake trout knowledge that is very applicable at different bodies of water, whether you're Canada, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, wherever, Montana. We're going to take that same knowledge base and apply that here in an effort to put a bunch of lake trout on top of the ice. Now, this is a pretty big destination and it's becoming more and more popular over the past couple of years. There's lots of people that come out here from Minnesota to fish. This lake is known for big numbers of fish. You know, guys are putting 20, 30, 40 fish on the ice a day. I mean, that seems like it's pretty common. So I don't know what's in store for us today. We could catch 2 fish, we could catch 20, 25 fish and have a great day. We don't know what's in store for us. That's what I like though. It's the unexpected, it's the unknown. You never know what can happen. So what we're gonna do is get some holes drilled and then we're gonna go over kind of the structure. Again, we're on no information. We came to the spot looked good on the map to me. So we came here, I don't know, I mean, who knows what it's gonna be like. So we're gonna drill some holes, check some depths, and yeah, we'll kind of go over what we look for on a lake that we've never fished before. Let's get some holes drilled and see what this lake has to offer. Okay, so we drilled a few holes. Josh and Alex popped a couple. We found 75 feet right behind me here, and we found 85, 90 feet right out in front of me there as well. So it's always nice to know that your Navionics app, the contours are somewhat close. We have noticed that the depth is consistently about 15 feet off. This is a reservoir. There's a dam up to the north of us here. So water levels are going to fluctuate, but we have found structure that to me looks good for lake trout. And again, never fished here before in my life. I'm not pretending to be a, you know, be a know-it-all out here. Never fished out here before, but if this structure would persist on Lake Superior or up in Ontario, I'd know there'd be fish on it. So I have enough confidence coming here and say that, you know, I know that there should be some lake trout on here. So essentially what we have is, you know, up in here, that's shoreline, but there's this underwater point that sticks out and kind of wraps around. And we're really going to target that 60 to 80 foot depth, and throughout the day kind of let the fish tell us whether, you know, they're shallower, or maybe they're deeper, or maybe they're right in that wheelhouse. You know, if I'm lake trout fishing, no matter what lake I'm at, that 60 to 80 foot depth is key. Like that's a great starting point that can help you just collect and absorb information, and that's what, you know, we're going to be about today.
I had this fish follow me all the way up to 10 feet underneath the ice before she hit. Looks like a dandy. That spoon looks buried. God, these fish do not give up out here. Definitely give you a good fight. That's a nice fish. There we go. Look at that fish. So I marked this fish near bottom and it chased me all the way up to 10 feet and finished the deal right there. And look at that spoon, it's just choked. That's a way to start the day right there. Heck yeah, look at that. Look at that. Send her back. Didn't take long. First Fort Peck lake trout, and I was fishing for maybe 10 minutes. That fish came all the way up from 75 feet and hit 10 feet below the ice. That was pretty wild.
He sees me. Come on, baby. I can't see my lure. There it is. Nice. That's what it's all about. I couldn't even see my lure. I just saw that trout coming up super fast, and I just started reeling up away from him, and I just transitioned my eyes to my rod tip and saw the hit, hook set, and it's fish on. It feels like a good one. That's awesome. It just shows that you're you know, if you have knowledge of lake trout, it's just applicable to you know, different areas, and this just confirms it right here. The first spot we go to, it's fish on. Look at this lake trout. Look at that lake trout. First fish of the day, baby. On. I'm speechless right now, and look at it, was barely hooked by the skin of her mouth. One more run and she might have got off, but she is all ours. What a fish. That thing there will go 12, 13 pounds all day long. First Fort Peck lake trout on a trip that we just said, hey, we just got to go do it and try it. No information, no nothing, out here on our own. That's what it's all about. What a fish, man. I'm speechless. My heart is racing. Let's get her back. And there she goes. Slowly swimming away. My hands are pretty cold. I gotta put them inside my bibs, but what a rush. What, I mean, that's just, you can't ask for anything more. On a little, my line's pretty twisted from that fight, but just a little white spoon, and that fish wanted it. Again, clear water out here. I mean, Lake Superior, I've seen, you know, trout rise 80, 90 feet to hit a bait. That one there just rose 25, 30 feet to hit my bait there. So, you know, wherever you have clear water, you're gonna have lake trout, and they can see far. They're super aggressive. They're gonna, you know, when you get in their area, there's not much that's gonna stop them from hitting your bait. You know, I mean, they love to eat. You know, they're very opportunistic feeders. When they see a spoon, they're gonna go after it. Busker's hooked up right behind us. It's getting crazy.
Came about 20 feet off bottom and crushed it. Gained maybe 10 feet on it, and then it just took off. Bye-bye. This is a nice one. Come on. Gotta watch those hooks so they don't get the ice there. Come on. Turn your head up. There we go. Another nice fish. I mean, this is awesome. The average size on these fish is just crazy out here. I hit that same spoon there. I mean, look at that fish. That is a chunky monkey there. Nice. Heck yeah. Fort Peck, I like it. Sweet. Heck yeah, man.
All right, now that we have a few fish under our belt out here, let's talk a little bit about the gear that we're using to target these lake trout. There's really no one right rod to use. It comes down to more personal preference. Busker is using the Apex Predator, this 42-inch rod from St. Croix. Great lake trout rod. It's actually designed for lake trout, big pike, you know, the biggest fish that swim down there. This is his preference. You know, I'm having a lot of fun with the 36-inch medium heavy Mojo. I like the reel seat on here, the bigger guides for fishing outside in this colder weather. You know, this rod is ideal for those 5 to 10, 12, you know, even 15-pound fish. A little bit, you know, heavier than that, you're going to be a little bit underpowered, but I always prefer to be a little bit underpowered versus overpowered. That's just my personal preference. Another great rod is the Trophy Taker. This is a 36-inch medium heavy rod from St. Croix in their CCI lineup. A lot of backbone. You know, this Trophy Taker will have more backbone than, say, the Mojo, but both are very, very capable of catching lake trout. And then, you know, you even have the Apex Predator here. If you're using gloves, fishing outside, you know, you can grip it on here. If you're fighting big fish, you can kind of let that rod butt lean against your forearm to get more leverage on those, you know, 15, 20-pound fish that want to go back to bottom. So, you know, these are 3 different rods in the St. Croix lineup. All are going to be very suitable to get out here and catch lake trout. Again, there's no one right rod to use. It all comes down to personal preference. Busker's hooked up. This is crazy.
That fish just came in and drilled it. Kind of sat there off bottom and looked at it, and I gave it a big aggressive flick, and then it turned them on.
It was like another good one.
This lake is awesome, buddy. These fish.
It is. I mean, it's just, we're not even to like 10 a.m. yet. I mean, oh, I see it down there. And it's just fish after fish.
Right.
It's just
Another
fish
nice
after
one.
fish.
This one didn't give me
Whoa,
that
that's
big
a
run
chubby.
yet, buddy. Ooh.
That's a chubby.
Get the head up. Look at that.
Look at this.
Holy, look how fat that one is.
That thing is green still, man.
Get
I
underneath.
just want to be careful so I don't get her gills. There we go. That is a tank, man.
That is
Here,
chunky.
grab your fish.
Look at that.
That's a
That's
big,
rod,
big
though.
fish. That's a big, big fish.
Yes, that is.
And that
Jeez.
right there is why, you know, Busker prefers to use the 42-inch Apex Predator to handle big lake trout like that.
Wow, look at the gut on that. Jesus. That's sweet.
That'll go to a 13 all day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that slender spoon, you are jiving with that right now,
Yes,
man.
right in the corner of the mouth on that
You
one.
can't do wrong.
No.
Ah,
Yeah, that's a big one.
just a great example. We're sitting back here talking about rod selection, you know, and you stick a fish like that. I mean, it just proves the point that, you know, just find a rod that you're comfortable with, that you have confidence in, and that you have fun with. And, you know, for you, it's the Apex
Yep.
Predator. For me, it's the 36-inch Mojo. You can't go wrong with either. Big lake trout.
Yes. Catch another one.
Woo! One big advantage you can give yourself when lake trout fishing is to use a 10-inch auger. It's hard enough to hook the fish, let alone get it to the bottom of the hole. They fight so hard, they twist, they turn. Lake trout are a tough fish to catch through the ice. When you get them to the bottom of the hole, you don't want to be messing around with trying to get his head started, struggling with an 8-inch bit. When you can, use a 10-inch auger. It's going to make that job a lot easier. You've done all the hard work of, number one, hooking the fish, and number two, getting it to the bottom of the hole. Make it easy on yourself. Use a 10-inch auger. Luckily for us, Ion G2 10-inch. It just goes hand in hand with lake trout fishing. All right, let's touch on lures a little bit. I'm a firm believer that in fish that are lake trout that come and hit you, that for 80-85% of those fish, it probably doesn't really matter what you have on. That's just in the nature of a lake trout. When they see something and they want to eat, they're going to eat it. But for the remaining 15 to 20% of the fish, you know, maybe it does matter. You never truly know. But you kind of, you know, I just like to use number one, what I have confidence in. Number two, the most lightweight lure that I can get away with. Again, if there's a lot of current, you're fishing super deep, yes, you have to use a heavier 2, 3, 4 ounce lure. But like today, we're fishing 60, 70, 80 feet of water and there's no current. So I can get away with using smaller spoons. One of my favorite is this spoon called the Dew Jigger. It's just a white spoon, and it's just my confidence bait. It's just my go-to bait. The hookup percentage is unbelievable. You know, for the fish that hit you when you set the hook on them, you know, 98% of those fish stay buttoned with this. On the contrary, more of like a swim bait style lure, you know, you get into bigger swim baits like your 4.5-inch paddle tails. A lot of times those fish come and bite the tail, and you set the hook on them and rip the tail off and miss the fish. So this is just my confidence go-to bait. Again, this it's probably a 1/3 ounce, maybe, you know, not even a 1/2 ounce. So it's a really lightweight spoon. It does take a little bit to get to the bottom. Other baits, these Storm Wild Eye Swim Shads, another confidence bait of mine. They work wonders. Another great bait. You know, bigger jigs like this is more of like a jig that we'd use on Lake Superior in that 2-3 ounce range. You know, that works as well. So, you know, there's really no one right bait to use out here. You know, I just like to use, you know, lightweight baits. I love that color white, and you know, just that spoon, get that flutter action. You know, this is one of my favorites. Busker's been using slender spoons, Wild Eye Swim Shads. It's just, you know, these lake trout down here, a lot of them are hungry, and sometimes it just doesn't matter what you have on, but those are our go-to baits day in and day out.
This feels like a big one, Grant. Get over here. This is a big one. Oh yeah.
You're on fire in this hole, buddy.
Man.
Look at that rod.
This is awesome.
How much fun is this?
Yeah, he came charging up. I got him up to about 40 foot and he crushed it. And now he's swimming right back down. Oh, wow.
Lake trout, man. When you graph them, all these fish are coming right off bottom. They're not coming in suspended. They're coming in right off bottom. And when you graph them, you just got to start reeling away from them, because if you let your bait sit there in a static position, these fish are not interested. So you really want to start reeling, get away from them, and that just, you know, aggravates them and gets them to chase and, you know, hit your bait. So
it's a heavy fish here.
That is a heavy fish, man. That rod's getting worked.
Forearm's getting worked.
There he is. Oh, that's a big fish. That's a big fish, Busker.
Wow. Oh wow.
That's a dino. I want to be careful. I don't want to put too much pressure on his gills and rip its gills, but look at that fish. You can tell she's been caught before too. Hey, look at the side of her mouth.
Yeah,
that's nice. What catch and release does for you. I mean, people come out here and just, you know, keep tons and tons of these fish. There's no need, you know. I mean, sure, they're okay. Some of the smaller ones are good to eat, but a fish this size, I mean, that's no good to eat.
No, let that one go.
What a beautiful fish. How much fun is that fight?
Oh, yeah. On that spoon again, too.
You're on a roll with that slender spoon.
Oh, yeah. That's a nice fish.
That's a cool fish. Hold her up. That's a beautiful fish. Oh, yeah. You're on a roll with those. I mean, that would go 10 pounds all day long.
Oh,
it's probably not much over 10, but that's a solid 10-pound fish. So.
That's some cool green in the back.
They are cool, huh? Yeah, that's nice. Awesome, buddy.
Heck yeah.
Let's get her back. Holy cow. There's fish. Nice. That happens so fast. You can't even describe it, man. You can't even describe how fast that happens. This fish still has a lot of energy, buddy.
That's awesome.
It hasn't, like, it hit like right under the ice, essentially.
That's sweet.
It hasn't even taken a big run yet, because it doesn't even know it's hooked.
Still haven't seen it. You see
I
it?
just got to go and swim. Yeah, I mean, it's you know, another. Whoa, that's fun. That's what I love about it. I mean, 7-8 pound fish doing that to you. I mean, it just doesn't get old. It doesn't get old. There we go. Nice fish. Look at that. Yeah. Look at that fish, man. What a beauty. Oh, the power these things have. This is kind of, if she'll settle down here, I can show you. This is, with this spoon, they're hooked in the corner of the mouth like that, like probably 85% of the time. They do not, I mean, and they don't come unbuttoned. If they hit the spoon, it's very, very rare that you lose a fish. So that's why I love a lure like this. They're just pegged right in the corner. It's almost like a circle hook down in the salt water. They're just pegged right in the corner of the mouth every single time. And, you know, you don't lose them. So there is a nice fish.
Yeah, every fish has been really nice.
Right, it's just the average size out here is pretty astonishing. I mean, that's your run-of-the-mill fish right there, man.
Yeah.
I mean, solid. That'll go 7-8 pounds all day
for
long.
sure.
Not cracking 10, but that's in that 7 to 8 category all day long. A heck of a fight. Huh. Unreal.
Look at that giant. Jesus. That's a tank. Just came screaming off bottom and just smoked it. Wow, look at that fish. This day has just been amazing. Look at that fish. Wide. Heck yeah.
Dropping down. Fish right below me. He's coming up. Got him. That's insane. That is insanity. I'm dropping down and he came up and just cranked it. Oh. It's fast-paced action out here, man. Nothing is slow about Fort Peck, including the speed at which these lake trout move. And it's just interesting to note that every single fish that we've seen comes in right on bottom. They're not coming in suspended. But, you know, I'm jigging 20, 30 feet above them. They come in right on bottom and they just dart up. I was actually trying to be a little bit proactive and drop down to that one to get more in his wheelhouse, and he just shot up and just cranked it. You can see it through this clear ice. No snow out here. Look at this fish. This is a good fish. A little bit bigger than I thought he was going to be. Look at that, man. That's Fort Peck for you. What an incredible day we have had and we continue to have. Just fish after fish, and they're all just awesome sized. You cannot beat it. Little white spoon, big lake trout, Montana. I'm in love. All right, that sun is starting to dip below the horizon. We have caught plenty of lake trout. My arms are sore, and we have a long four-wheeler ride back to the truck. But what a day we had. It's just kind of funny, that first piece of structure that we identified, we didn't end up moving off this the whole time. That's how many fish are down there. You don't see that very often. What a special lake. I cannot wait to get back to explore what the rest of this lake has to offer. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.